Welcome back to the Gates Technology YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a simple network share. I apologize for not having the camera running right now, but like I said, this video is going to be showing you how to create a simple network share. It's going to be very simple. I'm not going to be showing you how to add more than one other user, and I'm not going to be showing you how to do permissions or drive encryption or anything fun like that. I will be showing you how to do that in another video, but for the moment, this is just going to be a really simple network share. Now, what do you use a network share for? You use it to share files between computers or between other people that you might be working with, and it's really just to share files in one central location. If you plan on having more than one person, I suggest using Active Directory to manage logins, just because it makes it a little easier. All right, so let's get into it. The first thing you're going to need to do, which I omitted from this video, and I do also plan on making a video about how to do this, is install Windows Server onto an old desktop or a laptop or an old computer of some sort. You could even go out and buy a new server or a new desktop for this. So after you get Windows Server installed and you set it up and you create the password for the administrator user, you're going to want to open up the server manager like I have here. And the first thing we're going to do in here is install all the stuff you need. So come over here to where it says manage, click add roles and features, and then click next 2 times, and then, or 3 times actually. And then come down where it says File and Storage Services, right-click that arrow, and then right-click the arrow next to File and iSCSI Services. And then click File Server and Data Deduplication. Now, the file server is actually what enables you to have network shares, and data deduplication just makes it to where if you have more than one file that is exactly the same, it just stores a single copy and then keeps that one. And then click next. And then if you want to do encryption, I would go ahead and select the BitLocker drive encryption right here. But I'm not going to do that for this video. I'm going to have a separate video showing you how to use that on both computers that support it and computers that do not support it. And then just click next and then install. Now this will take like a minute, so I'll be back when it's done. All right, so when it's done, at a passing glance, it will look like it's still working on it, but it's not. So it will say installation succeeded on, and then the computer name. For me, that's when EHN blah, blah, blah. And then this progress bar will be at 100%. If you hover over it, it will say 100% as well. So when it's done, just click close. And then now you're going to want to come down here where this Windows button is. It should say start when you hover over it. And then right click it and click disk management. So we're going to be formatting the other drive. In this case, you can use the main drive that Windows is installed on, but I like to have it on a separate drive. For me, that's just a simple 500 gig VMware disk. So if it's unallocated like this, just simply right click and click new simple volume. Click next. It will assign it a drive letter automatically, and then you can rename it. I'm just going to call it data. And you can enable file and folder compression, but I suggest otherwise. And then click next. And then finish. And if it already has data on it, like this, it should look like this, where it's blue at the top, and it should have a drive letter. Just simply right click it and click delete volume, and then it will erase all of the data on there. So if you have anything important, just make sure to get it off and back it up, and then click yes, and then do the steps I just did. Now you can close out of this once you're done doing that, and then come back into the server manager and click File and Storage Services, click Shares, and then click to create a share, start the new share wizard, which that's what this will do. And then once you've clicked on that, click next, and then select E, or the other drive. If you're doing it on the main installation drive, type a custom path and then browse, and then you'll be able to select a location. So if I select the desktop folder, this will be the share, but I'm going with a drive. Now, once you click next after selecting the location, it's going to ask you for a share name. This can be anything you want. So for me, I'm just going to name it NAS, and NAS stands for Network Attached Storage, which is what this is. And then click next. And then make sure you click Enable Access-Based Enumeration and Encrypt Data Access. What Enable Access-Based Enumeration does is it makes it to where if a user or a group does not have access to that folder to read it or write to it, it will not show you that folder, or it will not show them that folder. And what Encrypt Data Access does is it basically just encrypts all the data going to and from the box. Instead of box, I should say server. Then click Next, and in here, I recommend creating a new user. So let's do that real quick. Click on that Windows button and type in user. And then where it says add, edit, or remove other users, for me, it's the third option. Just go ahead and click that and click add someone to this PC. And then you're free to close that previous window. So once you're in here, this is where all of the users are and where you can manage all of them. If you have Active Directory, you would open up that and manage them from there instead. This is just for local users. So click on users, that little folder right there, right click inside of the middle window and click new user, and then just create a username. I'm just going to use my name for this. And then I'm going to enter my password manually. If you are making this for a new user that is not you, I suggest you keep user must change password at next logon and set up password rules in Windows using Active Directory or the group policy to force users to create and use secure passwords. I am not going to do that, but I am going to set it to where it is never expiring, and then click create and then close. And now I like to add a group for the network shares. Just that way you can have different levels of classification. So I'm going to do NAS_user because there's supposed to be more than one. And then after you enter that group name, where it says members, click add, and then type in the username of the user you want to add to that group inside of this box, and then click check names. If it's a real user or it's a real group, it will automatically fill out the full username with the host name of the server on it. Or this is technically the domain name, but since this isn't a domain joined server, it's just using the host name. And then click OK and create, and then you can close out of that. Now come back to the new share wizard and click customize permissions, click share, where it says allow everyone right here, just remove that. What that does is instead of allowing anyone who knows what the IP or the address for this network server, or for this network attached storage server or NAS, with the allow everyone there, it allows everyone to see every file on that system or on that NAS. Removing that means only authenticated users, so my user would be able to, but we have to add that. So click add down here, and it froze. After you click add, it's going to pop open this window. Simply click where it says principal right here, click select a principal, and then just type in the group for the NAS, so NAS_users for this example, and then click check names and OK. And then I like to click full control because you can change it to where they won't have access to a specific folder, and then click OK. And then after that, just click apply and OK, and you'll be good. Then click next and click create. So now it's created this network share. If you get your IP address, which you can do from command prompt, just type in CMD inside of the Windows button right there, and then type in IP config. It should show you something like this. What you're looking for is the IPv4 address line right here. It should be the third one down under your Ethernet adapter. Just simply make note of that IP address. To add the drive to your Windows computer, simply open up File Explorer and right-click where it says This PC, and then click Map Network Drive, and then type // and then put the IP address in for that server. For me, that's 172.168.33134, and then / whatever the share name was. For me, that's NAS. And if you're using a different credential on the server to log into the network drive, click connect using different credentials. And if you want it to reconnect automatically when you log into the computer, make sure reconnect at sign-in is checked, and then click finish. And now you're going to type in the username and password of that user you created a little bit before. So now, oh, where'd it go? Okay, so now you have access to the NAS. If you right click and create a new folder, test, you can add stuff to it. And it will be there. So if I manually go to that directory, which is data, shares, NAS, and then test, as you can see, it's there. I can manually create a new folder and just name it James. So if I create a new, if I create a new user and just name it James, okay, I guess I can't use this insecure password. And then let me add James to that NAS users group. And in here, if I come into where it says James on that folder and I right click and do properties, click add, and then type in James, and then allow full control. And then if you do the other user, Matthew, by the way, this is not the fast and easy way to do this. This is the don't do it this way, only do it this way if you only have like 2 users. But essentially what I just did is I gave James full control to this folder and gave myself no control to the folder. If you click apply, yes, and then click OK, and then OK, you can come in and do the same thing to another folder. If I do my name, for example. So now that you've got those 2 folders set up, these can just be a very basic representation of different users using this system. So test is accessible by both, and then this is only accessible by James, and this is only accessible by me. As you can see, I can't see the James folder because I'm logged in as Matthew. If I disconnect this, yes, and then I add another one, and then I log in using James. As you can see, I can only see James and I can't see Matthew. That's very, very basic and very, very tedious way of doing user control and user management. Like I said, I highly suggest not doing it that way because if you have more than 1 or 2 users, it becomes very tedious. But now you have a network share. If you need to connect to it on macOS, if you open Finder and press Command K, you enter, let me open up Notepad. instead of doing // and then an IP and then share name, you're going to have to type in SMB : IP and then share name. This is for Linux and Mac OS and a lot of other devices too. And this is pretty much only used in Windows. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. If you need help securing this simple NAS, just feel free to email or call or text or just leave a comment below. I'd be happy to help. If you liked this video, give it a like. If you didn't like the video, go ahead and dislike it. If you want to see more like it, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell notification. Like I said, I'll be having a video on Active Directory and how to encrypt Windows, Mac, and Linux. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.